Day 4, 20-minute check-in. We're on a really nice section here that's like a dadgum highway, and it's pretty much as flat as the AT gets, unless you're on that gosh awful towpath coming out of Harper's Ferry that kills your feet because it's so hard. But anyhow, so up, watch the sunrise. Awesome sunrise on top of Lookout Shelter. Highly recommend you stay there. It's on gut hooks. I don't know if it's on AWOL or any of the AT guides, because it's on private property actually. And there's a sign in there that says, if guests from Lookout Farm come here, that through hikers or hikers in general have to leave, and they get to use it in their privacy. So somebody comes from Lookout Farm, better skedaddle. It's against the rules, but it's awful nice whoever maintains that. I suspect it's people from Lookout Farm. It's got a crow's nest on the top. You go in there and we watch get you above the tree line, and you can watch the sunset and the sunrise. And they were really, really cool. Lots of neat colors. And it's amazing the different colors that the camera will pick up. Anyhow, we are going to be 6.2 to the meet retread our wonderful trail angel who is killing it, and we are going to slack pack probably another 7 or so, depending on what the weather's doing. Hadn't looked at the weather lately, but it's supposed to be rain coming in between 1 and 2. Of course, we'll make it there way before then. So anyhow, that's the plan for the day, and we will catch up with you down trail, or up trail since we're nobody. See you then. Well, that was exciting. Still got some adrenaline going through me. I just took a nasty endo, the kind where you don't fall in the trail, you fall off the trail and down the hill. So, but I don't know what happened. I caught a rock and then landed on my knee, and could have really screwed my knee up. Fortunately, it didn't land on a rock, and barrel rolled down into the woods. And
sorry I didn't get it on video for you guys. I was too slow and ahead a little bit.
Yeah, he's always ahead. You could have come up and got it on video, me laying in a heap. Yeah, come along.
I thought better.
Come along. He is about 100 yards in front of me, and come back uphill. Now that's a true hiking buddy right there, to come hike back uphill with his pack on to come check on me. And of course, I'm still laid in a heap trying to get out of recover my senses and then get out of my pack. But fortunately, I didn't have anything stowed on the outside, so it wasn't a yard sale. And we'll find out later if anything came out and I missed it. But all's well right now. Hiking on my knee for the past half mile. So I think it's going to be okay. But imagine landing on your knee on a rock and peeling that patella off the tendon. That would suck, or an MCL or something. So I'm not going to jinx myself, talk about it anymore, but that was a ride. So we're about 3.5 from 12, where we're going to slack pack the rest of the day. Just past the shelter, we have a person who is kind of sort of with us. She's actually been hiking, so we just saw her on a trail, but retread was kind of supporting her too. She's been out, and we passed the shelter where she stayed, so we'll see if she was an early riser. We got up this morning, got a little late on the trail because we wanted to go out to the lookout and look at the sunrise coming up through the whites. So that was about a 30-minute delay. We got out about 6:30ish. Probably typically we get out about 6ish. All right, so I'm heading downhill. I got to be careful now. We'll see you up trail. Well, you merge into the woods to this little bunkaholic farm down here. We're on coming into Highway 12 or Road 12, whatever it's called. But anyhow, of course it's growed up, so great place for ticks. But should be a parking lot down here pretty soon. Meet retread, get rid of the killer packs, and we will put on our slack packs, probably eat some lunch and camel up, and then get back on trail. So yeah, so that's the plan. But I did want to show you this bunkaholic field. I didn't get a chance to walk through too many fields on the AT in comparison to the AT in general. It's mainly in the woods. All right, we'll catch you back on the flip side of the road sometime today. All right, we're back on trail. Sans the heavy packs down to the slack pack. I'm gonna slack pack about 6 or 7 miles and get picked up there, and that'll be it for today. But that should set us up for a finish tomorrow, which will be Tuesday. 16-mile slack all the way to the line. So down there at the parking lot where we swapped out, ran into Mushroom and Pink Hot Dog. So that was cool. They have updated me a whole bunch, included them on the channel and their update, so that's neat to meet them on trail. All right, this is coming up out of the gap there at Highway 12. It's got some pretty taxing coming up straight up, so then it kind of moderates, and then it'll be going back up. Interesting things you pass in the woods. So day before yesterday, I passed what was apparently a sawmill because there was a shiv there. And shiv is a pulley, and this had like a big, it's like a wheel that's really wide. One side was probably a foot wide, and the other side was about 8 inches wide. So somewhere back in the day, somebody had set that up, and it was like the old textile factories you see with the belts, power and everything. Belts coming off overhead shifts, power and stuff. Well, that's what this was. So they probably had it hooked up to a tractor. Old tractors had a shiv on the side of them that was tied into the transmission, where you could help hook a belt to it and then run a sawmill off of it. So that's probably what that was, a sawmill or something. I don't know what it was, but it's way up in the middle of the woods at the top of the mountain. So pretty neat, the things you see. I just passed. I didn't get a picture of none of this stuff. Stupid. But I'm always too wore out to think about at the time. But anyhow, passed a sometime in the 60s VW van, just the top. So the whole top, and then the A, B, C, and D pillar post about 8 inches down. And it was, I dated it in the 60s because it was the model that you could tell it had the two flat pieces of windshield up front instead of one continuous windshield. It was two pieces, and those typically you could open those up. So a lot of them were camper style, and you could whenever you got where you're going, you could open them up. And I suppose driving down the road, you could do likewise, but you know, you wonder when you come across stuff like this, how the heck did it get there? There's no road, no apparent road there. It's old. Was the rest of the VW van there at one time, and it's all just decayed over the time, turned into dirt, or turned into rust and turned into dirt? Oh, it's crazy. But it was just the top with the post. So kind of just weird stuff you run into. We also ran into a homestead on that before we got down to the parking lot, way back up in the woods past Winturi Shelter, I believe it is, Shelter Pass Lookout. There's an old homestead, so we saw the whole chimney, and it was a big homestead because it had, the chimney was a double chimney, so you had a hearth on both sides, so it would heat both sides. And you know, they had the foundation, but they had a huge root cellar there, particularly on one side. So must have been a big family where they needed to store a lot. But neat to come across stuff like that, and you just wonder about the people that used to live there and what their lives were like way back up in the hills with no utilities. So anyhow, all right, I'm gonna continue on and we will chat with you down the trail. All right, so here's our first field. We'll go through several. Starting to rain. Originally they said it was going to rain about 1, but it looks like that forecast has changed. Look at those black-eyed Susies over there. So looks like that's changed. It's moved in now, not in earnest, but certainly coming down. Did bring a rain gear, did bring umbrella since we're slack packing. If we get sopping wet, we're okay. We got a place to shower and dry off tonight. But anyhow, this is neat when you come across these fields. I like them. And then you come out of them, typically you'll have a style, not a style something in your eye. Now, this fence, apparently, they no longer keep cows or livestock here, so they've taken somebody's taken the fence down, and you don't have the style here anymore. So people just been walking around it. All right, back into the woods, and hopefully, looks like we're getting to the top of something. All right, we'll see. All right, going through this neat little field. It's like goldenrod and black-eyed Susies. Oh, those are pretty. If I could keep them, I'd pick a bouquet and take it home to Trail Boss. But anyhow, coming through here, I think that's ragweed. All kind of stuff, all kind of weeds growing in here that my bees would love. A couple hikers we've met up in front of us. I don't know what happened to come along, if he passed them or not. That guy just in front of us passed us a while back, so I don't know if come along had to take a break in the woods or what's going on. Oh, look at that whole field of black-eyed Susies there. That's pretty. Pretty. Let me take a picture. Love coming into all the different fields. You'll just come around a corner, hit a field, and bam, there you got this gorgeous field and this gorgeous view in front of you. A lot of these fields you'll come across an old orchard that are not kept up anymore, but you might find a little bit of fruit that's actually edible. So that's always kind of a plus. But just running into these fields, coming out of the woods and seeing them and just all blowing up there in front of you, just God's glory and creation, and then going back in the woods. So it's really neat. We got one more day and we will be out of here, and Vermont will be complete. So stay tuned. One more day of doing that and then we'll be done. All right, folks, as always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.